Hi everyone, it's Felicia, and I have some more information for y'all today and some clarification that I need to do. And I'm sorry if I sound all bleh today because I'm sick right now and school's over. I just got home from school and I'm pooped. But I know I have to make a video for school reasons, and so yeah. Okay, so what I want to clarify is what I said about the FDA. I do agree that I oversimplified it a bit, and I just want to give y'all some more information about it. And also got information from the American Cancer Society on how the cosmetics are regulated and what their view is on how it is being handled. Okay, so for the FDA, in the first paragraph of how cosmetics are regulated on the American Cancer Association website, I'll put a link down below if y'all want to read that too, but the FDA requires that new products be shown to be safe and effective before they're allowed to be sold, and that's for drugs. And they state, this is not the case for cosmetics, because cosmetics are different than drugs. You don't typically eat cosmetics. It's only applied outside the skin or anything external, and that's their definition of what cosmetics is. So like hair dye, lotion, nail polish, and whatnot is considered a cosmetic. The first line of the second paragraph on the website says, except for color additives, the FDA does not have the authority to require companies to test their cosmetic products before they are put onto the market. The FDA holds cosmetic firms responsible for confirming the safety of their products and ingredients prior to marketing. Products that have not been tested must carry the label warning, the safety of the product has not been determined. And that's word for word what it says on the website. Then the American Cancer Society continues on and tells us why is it so hard to regulate these cosmetics. It's because 1. Relatively few ingredients have been thoroughly tested and reviewed, and the testing that has been done is only for short-term effects like skin irritation or eye irritation and stuff of that sort. Number 2, and I quote, there is no clear definition of safety with respect to long-term health effects. Number 3, once a product is on the market, any short-term health effects are likely to become apparent, but this does not identify any long-term toxic or carcinogenic effects. Number 4, certain categories of products such as soaps and hair dyes are exempt from some regulations. 5, while the FDA does request that some ingredients are tested more thoroughly, it is not always clear how the agency determines which ingredients should be evaluated more thoroughly and what the extent of the further evaluation is. Ugh, sorry about that. And number 7, they said the FDA has limited staff and resources to oversee the safety of cosmetics. Now that I read directly from the website, I just hope y'all understand why I do feel a bit iffy about how cosmetics are, because they're not that heavily regulated as we hope they are, and I'm just saying that as a consumer point of view. Okay, but my main topic isn't about the FDA or how they regulate, because I know they're trying, but we need to be aware of ourselves and what we're putting under our skin, so it's also our problem too, right? Okay, before I begin talking about the topic for today, I just want to let y'all know I'm just getting information from my own resources and what conclusions I draw from them. I'm not telling you, hey, I'm a professional, this is definitely bad for you should stop using it, but I'm giving y'all a warning and maybe some advice. It's really up to y'all if y'all want to continue using it or not, because not everything is proven straightforward, and that's the problem with all of this. What I want to talk to y'all about today is talcum powder, or talc, or it's also known as magnesium silicate. So what is talc to begin with? Well, talc is a mineral which is produced from mining talc rocks, and then you crush them, you dry them, and you mill them into a powdery form, and it's usually used in BB powders or pressed powders, insecticides, and whatnot. So why am I saying talc is bad for you if it's used in baby powder and also cosmetics such as blush and mineral powders? Well, it's because there's been studies that shown that talc may increase the risk of ovarian cancer. According to the latest study conducted by the Harvard Medicine School in Boston, women who use talcum powder around their private parts daily have a 40% higher risk of getting ovarian cancer. Even those who only use it once a week experience a 36% higher risk. Okay, now I'm going to go into the details about the study. The study was led by Dr. Margaret A. Gates and was funded by the National Cancer Institute and the National Institute of Health. So the study used data from previous studies by the England Case Control Study and the Nurse Health Study to try and locate the link between the use of talcum powder on the genitals and the risk of contracting ovarian cancer. They gathered over 3,000 women, and half of them had ovarian cancer and half of them did not. And what they did is they gathered information of how often they used talc and in what areas of the body they used them in. And how the risk was determined is by the correlation between the usage of the talc and how serious their cancer is compared to others. And the reason they gave for why talc is doing this is because chemically talc is very similar to asbestos. It is likely that the same molecular and genetic pathways could play a part in the body's ability to cope with these substances, and because of this, they are less able to metabolize or detoxify these carcinogens. In conclusion, that's why they say that talc may increase your risk of ovarian cancer. But, like all experiments, there are some problems to it. First of all, when they drew data, they used different methods of data collection, so that could interfere with how the data is presented. Number two, when they were classified how often they used talc, they only asked once, so maybe they didn't classify it right the first time. Number three, it's not really possible to be sure if the exposure to talc had in fact preceded cancer diagnosis. And number four, there's also a lot of factors to include in it, like the use of oral contraceptives, or your age, or your body mass index, and heredity. But even though there are limitations, like every experiment in the world that's being performed, there is a pretty good link to talc usage and ovarian cancer. And the reason I say this is because they have tested. They took actual ovarian cells and talc powder, and they put the talc powder on the ovarian cells to see what would happen, and the cells divided very rapidly, which is a characteristic of cancer. Okay, even if you want to disregard the whole study, that's okay. I mean, that's your own right. But on the material safety data sheet on magnesium silicate, and the material data sheet, if y'all don't know, is the data sheet they have in chem labs when you use substances. It tells you the properties, how to clean up the spills, the harms that they can produce. And on the materials data sheet about magnesium silicate is that it can cause problems to the lungs if you exceed the level of 15 milligrams. Okay, well, I don't know if y'all can see this. Well, this is about 15 milligrams. Okay, and you're wondering, okay, that's a lot of powder, and I'm not going to inhale all of it. I'm definitely not going to make a line and snort it or something. Well, it's because we use it in a lot of our makeup, like this Milani blush. First ingredient on the list, which means there's the highest amount, is talc. Baby powder. Yep, Johnson & Johnson. First ingredient, actually there's two ingredients. It's talc. I don't know if you can see that. Talc and fragrance. And so we use it daily, and especially in makeup. And when makeup, if y'all know about makeup, you always learn to swirl your brush and then tap it out. And what happens to all the particles that's in the air? I mean, it doesn't just stay away from your face or something like that. And of course, we don't always just use one product that contains talc. We have our mineral foundation, we have our blush, we have our mineral veil, and we also have the mineral eyeshadows, or just eyeshadows in general that contain talc. And then if you have a child, and you know, when you pour this baby powder onto a child, or your baby, or whoever you want to pour baby powder on. Well, whenever you pour, it doesn't come in a nice little streamline of powder. It gets everywhere, and you inhale it. And why this causes a problem to the lungs is if you breathe in enough, there's the chronic effects is damage to the lungs, which is talcosis, or talcosis, depends on how you want to pronounce it. And exposed to this, and then it starts it's like a layer of talc around your lungs, and it just causes breathing problems. Okay, but that's something totally unrelated to carcinogens, but just a warning about talc. And so keep in mind when you use talc and stuff of that sort. And also, there's a lot of products you can use as a substitute for talc. Like this is my Bare Minerals foundation, and it doesn't have any talc in it. Or there's even, if you go to, I was at CVS recently, or actually less than an hour ago. Oh, yay. But Physicians Formula, they have minerals, and on the front it says talc free, because they know the problems that talc can cause. And so there's a lot of companies out there that are trying to be responsible and trying to research stuff. And yeah, I'm not saying you have to believe me. I'm not saying you have to throw away all your blushes and all your powders and whatnot right away. But I mean, even if it's just little bits of information, it could be useful. I mean, it's just something to think about. Just take little precautions. Like, if you're gonna, don't swirl and tap and have it all over the place. Just get as much as you need and put it on your face and try not to breathe it in, because what you stand on your face is not really gonna go up your nose. Or much, I think. But yeah, I'm just giving you some information. I'm not telling you that I'm 100% right, but it's what I gather from my research. You can go do your own. You can make your own assumptions, your own presumptions, conclusions, solutions, and etc. And that's about it. I just wish y'all good health, and I hope this is informational, and bye.